Hi, everybody. My name is Gavin. I am a senior at Lakeville North High School, and I've been a Faith Club officer there for some time. I'm very excited and humbled at the opportunity to share with you this evening. Since I've been asked to give a little bit of a personal testimony, I've been reflecting on about 7 years of this ministry being a part of my life. Honestly, I didn't even remember how it started, but all I know is that I started going to Faith Club at Century Middle School's Breakfast Club. So I see Mr. Baki right here. I'll give him a shout out. Yeah. But it was at Breakfast Club at Century that I really think that this all started, and I think my Fridays have been filled with donuts for the past 6 years, but more importantly, fellowship with other Christians at my school. I guess tonight I wanted to talk about a little bit of CFC's vision and what I think makes it so effective in impacting lives. The focus is on the students and the trust that God can do great things through students. But more importantly, I think that CFC isn't about people in suits coming to a gala, but it's about the power of God through the gospel. And I think that's ultimately what we need to talk about. In 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verses 6 to 8, Paul says, "I planted, Apollos watered, but God gave the increase. So then neither he who plants is anything, nor he who waters, but it is God who gives the increase." It's a similar way that this works. CFC plants, and the verse goes on to say that he who plants is worthy of a reward. So CFC and the students, we're worthy of rewards, but we plant, we water, but it's God who gives the increase, and that's the focus. All the glory is to God who gives his grace, because it's his grace, amazing grace that saved a wretch like me. I've seen this firsthand. I've seen his amazing grace, both as a participant and as a leader. Like I said, so I went to Century Middle School Breakfast Club, and one of the biggest steps and occasions in my spiritual journey came when just a simple junior officer at Lakeville North, his name was Eli Laufenberger, he invited me to come to CFC's summer camp that summer. And I ended up going. I won a $50 Amazon gift card. That was amazing. And eventually it led me to meeting. I met Jeremy Zemer, I met Mark Meyer, a bunch of amazing people, and eventually led to me joining the Daniel cohort 2 years ago. And I think it was through this Daniel cohort, I got to see students who are really strong in their faith. And I was a young guy, I was a sophomore, I was the youngest one there. I remember being so embarrassed that I couldn't drive there because everybody else could drive, and it was a whole thing. But I think the accountability of being a leader led me towards deepening my relationship. And once I stepped out in being a leader, I had the accountability of having a real relationship with God and seeing the gospel. And I think it shifted the whole trajectory of my life. And this came from a student, again, his name was Eli. He didn't do anything special, but he watered a seed that, importantly, God chose to make fruitful in my life. It's not that Eli chose to make it fruitful. And I think I've also seen this from a leader's perspective when I've been a leader. I want to shout out the boys. I have some great boys in my faith club. I know some of the middle schoolers, they were disparaging, the guys weren't really coming, but I want to stand up for them. I have a not so small group of over 20 underclassmen boys at Faith Club this year. And throughout this school year, sorry. We have met both on Friday mornings and also on Thursday mornings. So above and beyond, we have Friday mornings, we have our normal faith club with everybody, and we get together in small groups. And then on Thursdays, we have a men's Bible study where we open up the Word together, we share prayer requests, and we really get to know these. And it's in pouring into these students that I trust that God's grace is at work in their hearts, teaching them to walk with Christ. And I trust that maybe someday one of them will have a similar testimony of this cycle continuing of students pouring into students, but ultimately it's God using those students. Joseph, we have the same conclusion here, but anyways, the next year will be my first year without attending Faith Club in nearly a decade. I'm truly going to miss it because I think in a lot of ways it's been my only great passion in high school, the one thing that's really stuck through for all these 4 years. But I really do trust that CFC will continue to do great things in the metro area, and they are worthy of reward, as it says in Corinthians, but ultimately it is God, and I trust that we'll continue our focus That's giving God an opportunity to pour out His grace afresh. Thank you.